The screen flickered to life in the dim glow of the living room, but it was his hand brushing mine, accidental, electric, that shattered the fragile peace I'd built around our friendship. I was 19, heart pounding like a thief in the night, stealing glances at Richard Hale, the man who'd raised my best friend like a fortress of quiet strength, now crumbling under the weight of eyes that lingered too long. In that single touch, the movie faded, and the real story began. One of stolen breaths, forbidden fires, and a love that would burn us both to the ground before it set us free. I never meant to fall for him. God, no. It started innocently enough, the way these disasters always do, in the sleepy sprawl of Elmwood, Ohio, a Midwest town where cornfields whisper secrets to the wind and everyone knows your business before you do. My name is Alex Rivera, son of Mexican immigrants who scrubbed floors and flipped burgers to give me a shot at something better than their own scraped-together dreams. I was the kid with the quick laugh and the sketchbook full of half-formed art, crashing at my best friend Mia Hale's place every weekend since freshman year. Mia, with her wild curls and sharper wit, was my anchor in the chaos of high school turned college limbo. We were inseparable, plotting escapes from Elmwood's suffocating grip over stolen slices of pizza and dreams of New York galleries. Richard was just there, Mia's dad, widowed young when her mom lost the fight against cancer a decade ago. He was the rock, the provider, the guy who fixed leaky faucets with calloused hands and grilled burgers like they were love letters to summer. 45, broad-shouldered from years hauling lumber at the local mill, with those blue eyes that could pierce steel or soften like summer rain. I noticed him, sure, who wouldn't? The way his flannel shirts hugged his frame, or how he'd ruffle Mia's hair with a gruff affection that made my chest ache for something I couldn't name. But I buried it deep, told myself it was admiration, nothing more. I was gay, yeah, out to Mia in a tearful confession over ice cream at 16, but Richard? He was straight as the Ohio River, married once, dated sporadically, women from church potlucks, nothing that stuck. Off limits. Ancient history. That night in late September, the air thick with the scent of turning leaves, Mia bailed last minute. Family dinner ran long. Alex, Dad's making his famous lasagna. Come anyway. Movie night's on, and he's got that new thriller queued up. Her text buzzed my phone as I paced my cramped dorm room, textbooks mocking me from the desk. Why not? It'd be awkward, just the two of us, but better than another night staring at ceiling cracks, wondering if the cute barista at the campus cafe had smiled at me or the latte foam. I arrived at the Hale house as twilight bled into night, the porch light casting long shadows over the manicured lawn, a testament to Richard's weekend warrior habits. He answered the door in jeans faded to perfection and a gray Henley that clung just right, a dish towel slung over his shoulder like some domestic superhero. Alex, he said, voice gravelly from a day of sawdust and solitude. Mia stuck at her grandma's. But hell, the popcorn's popped. Come on in. The living room was a time capsule of warmth. Worn leather couch, bookshelves groaning under dog-eared thrillers and Mia's old soccer trophies, a stone fireplace crackling low. He handed me a beer, my first from him, a silent nod to adulthood, and we settled in, the movie starting with a bang, a heist gone wrong, shadows chasing shadows on the flat screen. Conversation flowed easy at first, college gripes, Mia's latest drama with her ex, the mill's latest layoff scare. His laugh rumbled deep, pulling at something primal in me, but I played it cool, feet tucked under me like a shield. Halfway through, during a tense standoff scene, his knee bumped mine. No big deal, except it lingered, heat seeping through denim, and when I shifted, our eyes locked. Not the casual glance of friends, but something raw, unguarded. Sorry, he muttered but didn't move. The air thickened, charged like the storm brewing outside, rain pattering against the windows like impatient fingers. You ever feel like life's just one big plot twist? I blurted, voice steadier than my hammering heart. He tilted his head, studying me with that intensity that made the room shrink. All the time, kid, especially lately. His words hung heavy, laced with a weariness I hadn't clocked before. The movie droned on, but we weren't watching anymore. When the credits rolled, he didn't hit stop. Instead, he poured us wine, red, bold, from a bottle he'd saved for special occasions. We talked deeper then about loss, his wife's fading laugh, my parents' quiet sacrifices, the loneliness of loving in silence. I confessed my art dreams, sketches of men who looked suspiciously like him tucked away in my portfolio. He listened, really listened, his hand finding my shoulder in a gesture meant to comfort but igniting wildfires. It was the wine, or the rain, or the way vulnerability cracked us open like eggshells. He leaned in first, or maybe I did, and our lips met in a collision soft as sin. His mouth was warm, tasting of Merlot and regret, stubble grazing my skin like a promise of more. My hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him closer, the world narrowing to the thud of his pulse under my palm. We broke apart, gasping, foreheads pressed, eyes wide with the terror of what we'd unleashed. Alex. Shit. This can't. But his arms didn't let go. We tumbled into it anyway, kisses turning hungry, bodies mapping uncharted territory on that couch, where Mia and I had binge-watched rom-coms. His hands were everywhere, strong, sure, unraveling me thread by thread. When he whispered my name like a prayer, I shattered, the haunting beginning not in what he did, but in the echo of it, a love too vast for our small-town cages. Morning light sliced through the blinds like Judgment Day. I woke tangled in sheets that smelled of him, pine soap and sawdust. His side empty, but the imprint of his body a ghost beside me. Panic clawed up my throat. What had we done? Mia's dad. My best friend's dad. The man who'd bandaged my scraped knees at 12, shared life lessons over backyard fires. I bolted upright, heart slamming, pulling on clothes rumpled from haste. Downstairs, coffee brewed, the clink of mugs and normalcy that mocked the night. He was at the stove, back to me, broad shoulders tense under a fresh tea. Morning, he said, not turning, voice rough as gravel. I mumbled something incoherent, grabbing a mug like a lifeline. Silence stretched, thick with unspoken wreckage. Last night, I started, but he cut me off with a look, those blue eyes stormy, haunted. Was a mistake. Won't happen again. The words landed like punches, each one bruising deeper. Mistake. As if the way he'd held me, whispered secrets in the dark, was erasable. I nodded, throat tight, fleeing to the bathroom to splash water on a face that burned with shame. By the time I emerged, Mia had texted, "Grandma's a handful. Home soon." You survived Dad's interrogation? Survive. Yeah, that was one word for it. Days blurred into a torture of avoidance. I'd dodge Mia's invites, claiming study groups or shifts at the campus library. But Elmwood's small, paths crossed like fate's cruel joke. I'd spot him at the grocery, pushing a cart with mechanical precision, our eyes snagging before darting away. Once at the gas station, his truck idled beside my beat-up Civic, and he rolled down the window, face etched with lines that hadn't been there before. You okay, Alex? Concern, not regret. It twisted the knife. Fine, I lied, pumping gas like it owed me money. Just busy. He nodded, jaw clenching. Take care of yourself. The engine roared to life, leaving exhaust and echoes. Guilt gnawed at me, a constant companion. Mia noticed, of course. Best friends don't miss the cracks. What's up with you? You've been a ghost. Over coffee at our spot, the daily grind, I deflected with half-truths, pressure from classes, doubts about my future. She bought it, mostly squeezing my hand with that fierce loyalty. You're my person, Alex. Whatever it is, spill when you're ready. If only she knew. The man who'd shaped her world had reshaped mine in a single night, and the shards were cutting us all. 2 weeks in, the dam broke. Mia's birthday loomed, 20, a milestone she planned with laser focus. Bonfire at the lake, friend from high school trucking in, kegs and karaoke under the stars. You have to come, she insisted, pinning me with those green eyes, so like her father's but softer, unscarred. Refusing would have raised flags, so I went, steeling myself against the inevitable. The lake house was Richard's, a weathered cabin on the edge of town, rented years ago as a family retreat, now a party haven. Strings of lights twinkled against the dusk, laughter echoing off the water as bass thumped from speakers. I nursed a beer on the deck, watching Mia twirl in the firelight, her joy a beacon. Then he appeared, stepping from the shadows like a specter, tray of drinks in hand. Alex, my name on his lips, low and loaded. Up close, he looked wrecked, dark circles under his eyes, a 5 o'clock shadow pushing toward midnight. Richard, formal, distant, safe. He set the tray down, fingers brushing mine again. Deliberate this time? We need to talk. The words chilled me. Now? Here. Not here. He jerked his head toward the path winding into the woods, away from the revelry. Hard in my throat, I followed, branches snagging in my jacket like warnings. The clearing was moonlit, the lake a silver mirror behind us. He stopped, turning with a sigh that carried the weight of worlds. I can't stop thinking about it. About you. The confession hung, vulnerable and vast. I stepped closer, breath hitching. Me neither. It's killing me. His hand cupped my cheek, thumb tracing my jaw, a touch so tender it ached. This is wrong. Mia. God, she'd hate us. Would she? Doubt flickered, but his eyes darkened. Doesn't matter. I'm twice your age, Alex. I should know better. But he pulled me in anyway, our mouths crashing in a kiss born of starvation. It was different this time, desperate, devouring, hands roaming with the urgency of thieves. We sank to the forest floor, leaves crunching under us, the world reduced to gasps and grips. He was fire and anchor, unraveling me with whispers of one I'd only dreamed in shadowed sketches. After, lying spent in his arms, reality crept back like fog. What now? I murmured, tracing the scars on his knuckles, souvenirs from mill mishaps. He stiffened, pulling away. Nothing. We end this before it destroys everything. The rejection stung fresh, but worse was the lie in his eyes. The fear, not of us, but of himself. He vanished into the night, leaving me to stumble back to the party, cheeks flushed, soul fractured. The haunting deepened. Sleepless nights bled into days of distraction. My grades slipped, sketches turned savage, strokes of charcoal bleeding into accusations. Mia cornered me one rainy afternoon in her dorm, arms crossed like a prosecutor. Spill, Rivera. You've been off since my birthday. Is it a guy? That crush on the art prof? I laughed, brittle. Nah, just family stuff. Lie upon lie, building walls between us. Then, the blow. Richard got laid off. The mill shuttered a line, his seniority no shield. Mia vented over phone calls, her voice cracking with worry. Dad's a mess, Alex. Won't talk, just holes up in that damn cabin. Guilt twisted sharper. I drove out uninvited, the cabin's lights a lonely glow against the November chill. He opened the door, surprise softening to something raw. What are you doing here? Saw the news. Mia's worried. I'm worried. He stepped aside, the cabin sparse, a fire dying in the grate, takeout boxes on the table. We sat, words tumbling, his fears of failure, the bottle tempting at the back of the cupboard. I raise her alone, Alex. What kind of man am I if I can't even keep the lights on? The best kind, I said fiercely, hand on his. You're more than your job. Our eyes met, and the dam burst again. This time, it was slow, reverent, clothes shed like confessions, bodies joining in a dance of healing and hurt. In his bed, under quilts stitched by his late wife, we found solace. His mouth on my skin a balm, my fingers in his hair a vow. I love you. I breathed, the words escaping like birds from cage. He froze, then held me tighter. I know. God help me. I love you too. Dawn brought no regret, only resolve. We talked, really talked, about the impossibility, the risks. We tell Mia, he decided, voice steady. Together. She deserves the truth. Terror gripped me. She'll hate us. Maybe. But hiding? That's the real poison. The confrontation came a week later, over dinner at the Hale house. A meal I'd helped prepare, chopping onions with shaking hands. Mia arrived bubbly, chattering about job interviews, oblivious to the storm. Midway through pasta, Richard cleared his throat. Mia, honey, Alex and I have something to say. Her fork paused, eyes flicking between us. Okay, I swallowed, voice a whisper. I love you, Dad. Silence exploded. Her face cycled through shock, betrayal, fury, green eyes flashing like lightning. What the hell? My best friend? With Dad. Words poured. The movie night, the kisses, the love that bloomed in shadows. Richard's hand found mine under the table, anchor in the tempest. Mia shoved back, chair scraping. You're both liars. How long? God, Alex, I trusted you. She stormed out, door slamming like finality. Rain lashed the windows as we sat, shattered. We lost her, I choked. Not forever, he murmured, pulling me close. Love like this, it fights. Days turned to weeks of radio silence from Mia, texts unread, calls to voicemail. Richard threw himself into job hunts, interviews in Cleveland, Toledo, anywhere but Elmwood's pitying stares. I painted feverishly, canvases screaming our story, tangled limbs in moonlight, fractured hearts mending. One night, buzzed on cheap wine, he proposed we leave, start fresh in Chicago. Art scene for me, construction boom for him. Run away. I laughed, but hope flickered. Not running. building. Before we could pack, Mia appeared on the doorstep, rain-soaked, eyes red-rimmed. "I hate you both," she started, then crumbled into sobs. We enveloped her, a messy huddle of apologies and aches. "Why him?" she whispered later, over tea in the kitchen, truce fragile as frost. "Because he's kind, strong, sees me." I squeezed her hand. "But you're my family too. Always." She nodded, tentative. "It's weird, gross even, but if he makes you happy." A watery smile. "Just don't make me call you stepdad or some shit." Laughter broke the ice, tentative bridges forming. Forgiveness wasn't instant. Therapy sessions, awkward family dinners, but it came, rooted in love's stubborn soil. Months later, Chicago's skyline glittered like promise. Richard's new job steadied us. My first gallery show a whisper of wings. Mia visited weekends, her laughter filling our cramped apartment, scars fading to stories. That haunting night, it birthed us, not monsters, but men brave enough to claim joy. Love, I learned, haunts not to torment, but to transform. In Richard's arms, under city lights, I finally breathed free. The city pulsed around us like a living thing, horns blaring symphonies of chaos that drowned out the whispers of doubt still echoing from Elmwood. We'd leased a one-bedroom in Wicker Park, exposed brick walls begging for my art, a fire escape perfect for morning coffees watching the L train rumble by. Richard adapted with that quiet grit, trading mill dust for high-rise scaffolds, his body a map of new calluses from city steel. Mornings, he'd wake me with kisses tasting of resolve, murmuring plans over eggs. Gallery hopping this weekend? That queer art collective Mia mentioned. Mia, our lifeline, threading the distance with video calls and care packages. Tortillas for Mom's recipe for me, flannel shirts for him. She'd thawed, mostly, her visits a whirlwind of sarcasm and stolen hugs. "You two are disgustingly domestic," she'd tease, raiding our fridge while we blushed like newlyweds. But under it, pride gleamed. Her graduation cap tossed in the air last spring, law school acceptance to Northwestern, a future untethered from small-town chains. Yet hauntings linger, shadows in the corners. Mine came at night. Dreams of Mia's slammed door replaying in vivid cruelty, or Richard's face crumpling under layoff news, whispering failure like a curse. I'd jolt awake, sweat slick, his arms pulling me back to earth. "Just echoes, love," he'd say, voice a rumble against my spine. We're here now. One crisp October evening, as leaves turned gold underfoot, the past clawed back. A letter arrived, plain envelope, Elmwood postmark, addressed to Richard in a scrawl I recognized. His old boss, Harlan, the mill foreman who'd handed him the pink slip with a handshake too firm, eyes too pitying. Inside, not condolences, but a summons. Town hall meeting. Unions fighting closure. "Your voice matters, Hale." He stared at it over dinner. Takeout tie, steam curling like questions. "Go," I urged, chopsticks poised. "Face it. Close the book." His jaw tightened, fork scraping plate. "And leave you here? With the show looming. My first solo exhibit's weeks away. I'll be buried in canvas." I leaned across the table, tracing his knuckles. "Go be the hero Elmwood needs. I'll hold the fort." Reluctance wore in his eyes, but Dawn saw him packing a duffel. Faded jeans, that gray Henley from our movie night, a kiss lingering like farewell. 2 days, tops. Love you. The door clicked shut, and silence bloomed, vast and unnerving. I threw myself into work, studio space in the basement humming with turpentine and turmoil. Sketches evolved. Not just us, but fragments of before, cornfields as prisons, a young me sketching forbidden faces. Mia called that night, voice bright. "Dad's en route? Good. Tell him not to punch Harlan again." Laughter eased a knot in my chest. "Promise. How's Torch treating you?" "Like a bad ex. But hey, spill. That piece with the intertwined shadows? It's killer. Proud of you, Alex." Her words fueled me through the empty hours, but by night 2, anxiety gnawed. No call, no text. His phone straight to voicemail, the cabin's landline a relic we'd never tested. I paced the fire escape, city lights mocking my worry, rain slicking the metal like tears. Dawn broke gray, resolve hardening. I booked a bus. Cheapest way back to hell, duffel stuffed with clean socks and courage. The ride blurred Ohio's flats, heart hammering with each milepost. Elmwood greeted me unchanged. Rusted silos, diner neon flickering open, gossip thick as humidity. Mia met me at the station, her hug fierce, face drawn. "He's at the mill." Meeting dragged, protests, cops. It's ugly. We drove to the cabin first, my keys still valid from summer stays. Inside, dust motes danced in sunbeams, the air stale with abandonment. His note on the fridge, staying to help. Love you both. Don't worry. But worry clawed deeper. Mia pacing, me scanning news on my phone. Local mill shutdown sparks unrest. Clashes reported. Stay here, she said, grabbing keys. I'll drag him home. No. I followed, stubborn. Together, the mill loomed on Elmwood's edge, chain-link fences rattling under wind, picket signs bobbing like angry buoys. Jobs not crumbs. Sirens wailed distant, but close enough to chill. We parked, weaving through the crowd. Faces I knew from church picnics, now etched with desperation. Harlan spotted us, beefy arms waving. Hale's inside, negotiating. Stubborn bastard. Relief warred with fear. Then shouts erupted, scuffle near the gates, fists flying as security pushed back. Mia gasped, Dad, but it wasn't him. We pressed closer, hearts sinking in panic. A roar split the air, tear gas canisters hissing, white clouds blooming like poison flowers. Chaos swallowed us, coughing bodies stumbling, eyes streaming. I lost Mia in the crush, voice hoarse calling her name. Then, through the haze, a figure, Richard, emerging from the mill doors, face smeared with grit, eyes wild. Alex. Disbelief, then arms crushing me close. What the hell? Later, I choked, gas burning lungs. Mia's here. We need out. He nodded, grip iron, steering us through the melee. Mia materialized, coughing, clinging to his side. We burst free onto the roadside, gulping clean air, collapsing against the truck in a heap of limbs and relief. Back at the cabin, after showers and soup, truths spilled. The meeting had fractured, owners stonewalling, workers fracturing into factions. Richard had stayed, mediating, his voice the glue holding frayed tempers. Couldn't walk away, he admitted, fire crackling as Mia and I flanked him on the couch. That damn couch, witness to origins. You're an idiot, Mia muttered, but affection laced it. Heroic but idiot. He ruffled her hair, eyes meeting mine over her head. Gratitude, love, a spark undimmed. Worth it for this. That night, as Mia snored in her old room, we slipped to the porch, stars pricking the velvet sky. His head on my shoulder, hand laced with mine. Scared me. I whispered. Thought I'd lost you. Never. His kiss was soft, anchoring. You're my plot twist, Alex. The best one. We returned to Chicago changed, stronger, scars like badges. The exhibit opened to murmurs of acclaim. Raw. Intimate. A testament to love's quiet revolutions. Fires snapped pieces. Mia beaming from the front row, Richard's arm around my waist, a quiet claim. But hauntings evolve. A year on, another letter. Not summons, but invitation. Harlan, retired now, to a union reunion. Richard went alone this time, returning with stories, not shadows. Close the book, he said, pulling me close. For good. In our growing home, Wicker Park traded for Logan Square, space for studio and guest room. Mia, crashing often, her law books mingling with our lives. We built not just a life, but legacies. Love, I realized, haunts to remind us. It's not the fall that defines, but the rising, together, unapologetic whole. Winter wrapped Chicago in a crystalline hush, snowflakes drifting like forgotten confessions outside our bay window. The apartment had bloomed, walls alive with my canvases, Richard's tools neatly racked in the corner, a life stitched from disparate threads. Mornings blurred into a rhythm, his coffee brewing strong, my sketches unfurling over toast, Mia's texts pinging updates from her clerkship grind. Caseload's killer, but hey, free tickets to the Bean exhibit? Date night for you saps. We laughed, but beneath it, a new undercurrent stirred. Richard's reflection in the mirror showed lines deepening, not from age, but from unspoken burdens. Nightmares plagued him now, the mill's collapse replaying as personal ruin, my face morphing into Mia's accusatory glare. I'd wake to his tossing, soothed with murmurs and touches, but the cracks widened. It crested in February, Valentine's frost etching the glass. He'd planned a surprise, dinner at a tucked-away bistro in Andersonville, the neighborhood's rainbow flags fluttering like blessings. Candles flickered over plates of Oso Bucco, wine loosening tongues. 1 year, he toasted, glass clinking mine. To us. To surviving the haunt. I smiled, but his eyes held shadows. What's eating you? He sighed, fork tracing patterns and sauce. Therapy homework. Digging into the past. Mom's death. The mill us. A pause, heavy. Afraid I'm not enough. For you. For this life. The vulnerability cracked me open. You're everything. My hand covered his, thumb stroking wedding ring finger, bare now but scarred with memory. We built this. Together. Dessert arrived, tiramisu, rich as regret, and with it, his confession. Want to make it official. Not marriage. Too soon. Too loaded, but commitment. Rings, vows our way. Joy surged, but tempered by his hesitation. When? Spring. Cherry blossoms in the garden. Mia, officiating. Laughter bubbled, sealing it. But as we walked home, arms linked against the chill, a figure detached from the shadows. Tall, lean, face half hidden by a hoodie. He stepped forward, voice a ghost from Elmwood. Richard Hale. Richard stiffened, hand tightening on mine. Yeah. Name's Tyler. From the mill. Harlan sent me. The man, mid-30s, wiry with haunted eyes, glanced at me, then away. Heard you're settled. Good. But trouble brewing back home. Owners suing the union. Naming names. Yours. The words landed like ice pellets. Richard's face paled. Suing? For what? Defamation. Say the protests cost him millions. Harlan's fighting, but they want blood. Tyler shifted, uneasy. Didn't want to drag you back, but your testimony. It'd help. We thanked him, numb, the night souring. Inside, Richard paced, fury etching his brow. Bastards. After everything. Go. I said again, echoing the past. Fight. I'll come if you need. He stopped, cup on my face. Not alone this time. We're in it. Mia arrived the next day, train ticket fury in her eyes. Lawsuit. Those corporate vultures. We huddled over laptops, piecing intel. Filings in county court, depositions looming. Richard's name bolded in exhibits. Instigator of unrest, a lie wrapped in legalese. We sue back, Mia declared, law brain firing. Defamation countersuit. Pro bono if needed. Her fire ignited us. Richard called Harlan, voice steel. On my way. But this ends at all of it. The drive to Elmwood was a tense cocoon. Mia's shotgun, me rear, hands linked over seats. Spring teased early, buds swelling like hope. The town felt smaller, judgmental eyes tracking the truck. Harlan's kitchen became war room. Coffee sludge, files stacked like fortifications. You're a fool for coming, Harlan grumbled, but gratitude gleamed. But damn if it ain't right. Depositions dragged, sterile conference rooms, lawyers in suits sharper than shivs, probing Richard's words like wounds. You incited violence, Mr. Hale, the suit sneered. No, Richard shot back, unflinching. I incited justice. I watched from a gallery, heart swelling with pride, Mia's notes frantic beside me. Breaks, we'd escape to the diner. Milkshakes and whispers, his hand under the table a lifeline. Proud of you, I'd murmur, kissing his temple. Nights at the cabin blurred boundaries. Mia crashing on the couch, us stealing moments in the loft, bodies whispering defiance against the storm. One evening, post-session exhaustion, we walked the lake path, moon silvering the water. Remember that night? He asked, arm around my waist. How could I forget? The bonfire, the clearing, birthplace of us. He stopped, turning me to face him. Marry me. For real. Here nowish. Laughter escaped, tears pricking. Yes. God, yes. We eloped quiet. A justice of the peace next month, cherry blossoms witness. Mia walked me down the aisle of our makeshift garden, her toast fierce, to love that haunts and heals. The lawsuit ground on, but momentum shifted. Witnesses recanted, media sniffing corporate greed. Harlan called victory, settlement, mill reopening partial, names cleared. Returning to Chicago, rings glinting, simple silver bands, engraved plot twist, we stepped lighter. The haunt? Transmuted to talisman, reminding us, love's trials forge, not break. Summer bloomed, Mia's bar exam conquered, our home echoing with celebrations. In Richard's arms, under stars smudged by city glow, I knew we'd outrun the ghosts, emerging not unscathed, but unbreakable. Summer's heat wave baked the city into a simmer, air conditioners humming dirges against the asphalt's relentless pulse. Our Logan Square haven had expanded, a second bedroom for Mia's inevitable crashes, walls pulsing with new works, a series on resilience, figures entwined against fractured backdrops, whispers of our battles. Richard's crew thrived, high-rises piercing the sky like declarations, his laughter freer at barbecues with neighbors, a queer couple down the hall trading grill tips and stories. But peace, I've learned, Is it jealous lover, slipping through fingers when least expected? It struck in July, a phone call shattering a lazy Sunday brunch. Mia's voice, edged with panic. Alex? It's Grandma Hale. Fall. Hospital in Toledo. Richard dropped his fork, face ashen. How bad? Broken hip. But she's asking for you. Both of you. A pause loaded. And she knows. About us. The words hung, a grenade unpinned. Grandma Evelyn, Richard's mother, 82, a steel magnolia transplanted from Kentucky hills to Ohio farms. Widow twice over, she'd raised Richard single after his dad's mill accident. Her Bible-thumping faith a shield and sword. Mia's confession over Christmas had been tepid. Dad's happy, grand, but details dodged, assumptions buried. We packed in frenzy, hospital an hour west, Richard's knuckles white on the wheel. She'll hate me, he muttered, eyes on the road. Hate us. Or not. I countered, hand on his thigh. Mia's tough. She'll bridge. Toledo's sterile halls smelled of antiseptic and finality. Evelyn's room a bloom of flowers, masking frailty. She lay small in the bed, silver hair haloed on pillows, eyes sharp as ever under wrinkled lids. Mia hovered, fidgeting. Richard approached slow, like taming a wild thing. Mom. His voice cracked. Richard, frail hand extended. He took it, perching on the edge. Her gaze flicked to me, appraising, unyielding. And you must be the artist. My throat bobbed. Alex, ma'am. Pleasure. She snorted, weak but wry. Mia, says your trouble. Good kind, maybe. A cough, then heard whispers. About you two. Silence thickened, Mia shifting. Richard tensed, words forging. It's true, Mom. I love him. We're married. Her eyes closed, breath shallow, a lifetime flashing. Church pews, her son's wedding to Sarah, Mia's baptism. Then, softer, world-changing. Faster than this old heart. A squeeze of his hand. If he makes you smile like Sarah did, keep him. Tears welled, hers a cascade. I stepped forward, her other hand cool in mine. He's my world, Mrs. Hale. Evelyn, a ghost of a smile. Family now. Relief flooded, but hauntings shift forms. Recovery dragged. Rehab in a facility near Elmwood. Us shuttling weekends. Mia, coordinating like a general. Evelyn's stories unfolded. Her own hidden heartaches. A youthful crush on a farmhand. Stifled by Era's chains. Quiet support for a cousin's unspoken truths. Love's love, she'd rasped, knitting needles clicking. Don't waste it hiding. Richard softened. Ghosts exorcised in her presence. One evening, as fireflies danced outside her window, he confessed over lukewarm tea. She knew. About me. Doubts, even before Sarah. Evelyn nodded, eyes twinkling. Mothers know. Just waited for you to catch up. Fall brought her home. To Elmwood, a ramp installed at the cabin, our hands muddy from labor. Celebrations marked it. A low-key dinner, Harlan toasting with moonshine, Mia's laughter ringing. But undercurrents stirred, town tongues wagging anew, whispers of the city boy who stole Hale's heart. It boiled over at the county fair, October's harvest moon gilding the midway. Cotton candy clouds, Ferris wheel creaking, Richard's arm casual around me as we strolled. Mia darted for funnel cakes, Evelyn on his other side, cane tapping rhythm. Then a voice slithered. Carl Withers, mill vet, beer loosened and bitter, sidling up with cronies. Well, if it ain't the happy family. Sneer laced with venom. Hale, trading skirts for pants now? Mill wasn't enough ruin. Richard stiffened, but Evelyn's cane thwacked the ground, sharp as a gavel. Watch your mouth, Withers. Ward got room for all kinds. Yours included, sinner. Laughter rippled from onlookers, Carl flushing crimson, slinking away. Mia hooped, hugging her gran. Legend. Richard's eyes met mine, gratitude shining. My hero. Back home, as leaves piled gold. Evelyn settled into routines. Bridge club thawing to her tales. Church ladies cooing over that nice young man. Her health steadied, but time's thief loomed. Holiday lights twinkled early. Our first Christmas as family. Tree trimmed with Mia's ornaments. Richard's carved angels. My painted baubles. Evelyn arrived bundled. Gifts wrapped in newsprint. Under the glow, toasts flowed, to survivals, to loves reclaimed. Later, as snow hushed the night, Richard and I slipped to the porch, breaths fogging. She accepts us, he whispered, ring glinting. More than that, she sees us. My head on his shoulder, world vast and kind. Winter deepened, Evelyn's letters arriving weekly. spidery script sharing fairy tales of resilience. Spring teased again, her 90th looming, plans for a garden party at the cabin. The haunt? Faded to fond memory, a thread in our tapestry. In her final letter, before the quiet end came peaceful in sleep, love haunts to teach forgiveness. Yours, to me, to him, it's the grace. We buried her under Kentucky hills, but carried her forward, unbreakable, loved. Spring's thaw melted into summer's embrace once more, but grief's frost lingered in the hollows. Evelyn's passing left a void. Letters ceased, the cabin echoing emptier despite our visits. Richard bore it stoic, channeling into a memorial garden. Roses her favorite, benches for reflection, my mural on the shed wall a riot of colors celebrating her quiet fire. Mia dove deeper into work, her firm's pro bono arm fighting labor injustices, a nod to Harlan, to Dad stand. Us. We thrived in the interstices. My career ascended. A commission for the Art Institute, queer narratives splashed across catalogs, interviews probing the haunting inspiration. I'd smile cryptic, life's plot twists. Richard's pride swelled, his crew toasting at rap parties, one burly foreman clapping my back. Hail softer since you. Good softer. Yet under the bloom, new shadows crept. August heat peaked, and with it, a diagnosis. Richard's annual checkup unearthed a shadow on his lung. Smoker's ghost from mill days, despite quitting decades prior. Early, the doc said, voice even. Treatable. Surgery, chemo, if needed. The word cancer landed like a thief, stealing breath. In the sterile consult room, his hand crushed mine, face a mask. We'll fight, I vowed, voice steel despite the quake. Home, we shielded Mia, told over video, her face crumpling pixels. I'm coming. Now. She arrived whirlwind, law books abandoned, crashing on our couch, turned sickbed. Treatments began, scans, consultations, a surgeon's knife carving out the shadow. Richard joked through it. Mill scars one-upped, but nights he'd curl into me, vulnerability raw. Scared, Alex. Of leaving you. Her. You won't. Kisses fierce. Plot twist, remember? We rewrite. Fall foliage framed the battle. Infusions dripping slow poisons. Hair thinning to stubble, he shaved with defiant flourish. I sketched him. Fierce, fragile, beautiful. Series titled Hauntings transfigured. Gallery buzzed, sales funding home care, Mia negotiating FMLA like a shark. Complications arose mid-October. Infection post-op, fever spiking, hospital lights harsh as interrogations. I paced halls, Mia's hand in mine, whispering prayers to gods we'd half forgotten. He'll pull through, she insisted, eyes fierce. He's our rock. Vigil stretched. Nurses' footsteps metronomes, monitors beeping lullabies. In the quiet hours, memories surfaced. That movie night, electric touch, the clearing's passion, Evelyn's grace. Love's litany against fear. Dawn of the seventh day, he woke clearer, color returning. Missed you, he rasped, fingers twining mine. Tears fell, relief a flood. Missed your stubborn ass. Recovery crawled, physical therapy, nutrition shakes, walks in Grant Park where leaves crunched under cautious steps. Mia stayed through winter, her presence a balm, stories of court wins distracting from aches. Closed the case today, union won back pay. For the little guys. Richard beamed, weak but warm. Like Harlan say, that's the fight. Spring returned, tentative, his strength rebuilding, scans clean, a remission declared tentative victory. The garden party for Evelyn morphed. A celebration of survivals, Elmwood friends trucking in, Harlan toasting with tears, to hail, tough as nails, heart of gold. Under cherry blossoms, Richard pulled me aside, ring heavy on his finger. Second chances, he murmured, kiss sealing it. We danced slow, Mia spinning with abandon, laughter weaving the night. The haunt? Alchemized to strength. Cancer shadow a teacher in impermanence. Years folded forward. Mia's partnership landed, wedding to a sharp-witted paralegal in our garden. My retrospectives in MoMA, haunted hearts a staple. Richard retired easy, woodworking benches for community centers, his hands, scarred, steady, crafting legacies. In twilight years, porch swings creaking, we'd recount. The movie, the touch, the fires. Still haunts, he'd say, eyes twinkling. Good haunt, I'd reply, head on his shoulder. Love's echo, eternal, kind. Autumn's palette painted Chicago in fires of farewell. But for us, it was rebirth. Richard's remission held firm, a quiet triumph etched in clearer eyes, firmer strides. We marked it with a road trip, Route 66 echoes, but Midwest flavored. Diners in Springfield, motels with neon hearts, hands linked over maps. Adventure, he declared, wind tousling silver hair. Owed us. Stops blurred memories. A Grand Canyon overlook where he proposed a vow renewal. Simple bands exchanged under vast sky, stars witnesses. Forever's just starting, he whispered, rings sliding home. Back home, life layered richer. Mia's family grew, a son, little Theo, with her curls and her wife's dimples, toddling through our apartment, fingers sticky on canvases. Uncle Alex, draw dragon, he'd demand, and I'd comply. Richard chuckling from the sidelines, tools paused. My work evolved. Murals for schools, themes of hidden loves unearthed, workshops for queer youth sketching their truths. One evening, a teen approached post-session. Your story. It haunts me good, makes me brave. Words lodged, tears pricking. Richard, waiting outside, pull me close. That's the value. Human raw. Yet, echoes stirred. A decade post-movie night, Elmwood called again. Not crisis, but homecoming. The Mill, revived under co-op, dedicating a wing to Hale Hall. Community center, job training, his name bronze-plaqued. Ribbon cutting. Harlan rasped over phone, voice frielier. Your legacy, son. Richard demurred. Too much fuss, but Mia and I conspired, tickets booked. The drive stirred ghosts, cornfields whispering, radio crooning oldies from our early days. Elmwood welcome changed, fewer stares, more nods, the cabin sold, but memories intact. Ceremony buzzed, suits mingling with flannels, Harlan's speech gravelly. Richard Hale fought for us. Now we build on it. Scissors snipped, plaque gleamed, applause thundering. After, at the diner, our booth, milkshakes sweating, we decompressed. Proud, Mia asked, Theo gurgling in a high chair. Beyond, Richard's eyes misted, hand finding mine. But it's yours now, all of you. Night fell soft, us wandering the lake path, full circle. Moonlight silvered the water, air crisp with promise. Haunting's over, he said, stopping. Is it? I teased, pulling him close. Nah, evolves. Kiss deepened, timeless. Winter brought Harlan's turn, heart faltering, hospital beds familiar foes. We visited, Mia reading briefs aloud to amuse, Theo's giggles medicine. Tough old bird, Harlan wheezed, gripping Richard's hand. Like you. His passing spring, we scattered ashes in the garden, roses nodding approval. Eulogy at the co-op, Richard's voice steady, tales of grit and grace. Summer swelled with Theo's firsts, pool splashes, sandbox epics. Mia and her wife hosting barbecues, our roles grandparent adjacent, spoiling shameless. Art poured, a commission for the co-op, mural of workers entwined, love's unspoken no more. One dusk, easel set on the fire escape. Richard joined, beer in hand. That one feels like us. Always. Brush paused, his arms encircling. The beginning. Fall circle back, leaves a carpet of gold. A letter arrived. Not summons, but invitation. Momo retrospective, Alex Rivera, hauntings and horizons. Opening night glittered. Critics murmuring. Mia toasting champagne. Theo wide-eyed at the scale. Central piece. Movie night echo. Couch shadows. Two figures. Youth and wisdom. Reaching. Plaque. For the man who haunted me into light. Richard's eyes across the crowd. Locked. Love undimmed. After party quiet. Homebound. He pulled me to dance in the kitchen. Radio soft. Still does, he murmured. Always will. Embrace tightened. Melody weaving. Years whispered on. Theo's school plays, Mia's Senate run. Fighting for labor's, lovers lives. Richard's hand slowed, joints protesting, but stories flowed, endless. Porch tales for grandkids, wisdom distilled. In quiet evenings, as city hummed lullabies, we'd reflect. The touch that started it, the fires that forged. Haunting? Not torment, but tapestry. Threads of drama, thrill, romance, woven to meaning. Love's true plot, not the shatter, but the shine after. In his arms, eternal, I rested, haunted whole, home. Winter's hush blanketed the years, snow veiling the city in merciful white, but time's march quickened, relentless. Theo grew lanky, braces glinting in debates club triumphs. Mia's campaigns echoing national. Bills passed for union rights, queer protections, her voice a clarion from D.C. now. Visits rarer, but deeper. Our Logan Square nest adapted. Ramps easing Richard's steps, my studio yielding to cozy nooks. Canvases archived, but spirit undimmed. Health's thief returned subtle. A cough lingering, fatigue shadowing his laugh. Checkups confirmed. Recurrence insidious, spread quiet. Manageable. Docs hedged, but eyes said otherwise. We rallied. Mia flying in, Theo's hugs fierce, treatments a gauntlet of hope and haze. Spring struggled against it, cherry blossoms defiant. Richard's resolve mirrored. Not done yet. Gardens to tend, stories to tell. We traveled light. National parks, trails gentle, hands linked on overlooks, breaths synced to wind. One May morning, post-infusion pallor, he broached the unspoken. When it's time, cabin, lake, home. I nodded, throat tight. Our clearing. Yeah. Smile faint, but eyes alight. Full circle. Preparations wove quiet. Affairs ordered, letters penned. To Mia, Theo me. His to me, slipped in my sketchbook. You were the light in my haunt. Shine on, love. Summer peak golden, strength ebbing, but spirit soaring. Barbecue at the co-op, Elmwood hybrid now, old friends mingling new, Theo grilling with grandpa's tips, laughter bridging ears. Harlan's plaque gleamed nearby, a totem. Fall's turn came swift, leaves aflame, then ash. We drove to the cabin, Mia and Theo flanking, rode a ribbon of reminiscence. Lake mirrored the sky, serene, the path crunching under wheels. Inside, fire crackled welcome. Evelyn's quilt draped the bed, movie cued on a portable screen. That thriller paused mid-twist. We gathered close, stories spilling. Mia's first crush confessed, Theo's dreams of activism, my early sketches unearthed. Richard's voice, thready but true, proud. All of you. Hand in mind, final. Alex, best plot. Breath faltered, then stilled, peaceful, under stars peeking through branches. We held vigil, tears a river to the lake, dawn gilding goodbye. Burial simple. Ashes scattered in the clearing, roses from the garden, Mia's words eulogizing. He loved fierce. Taught us to. Back in Chicago, the haunt settled deep, not ache, but anchor. I painted through grief, final frame, figures fading to light, gallery sales funding scholarships, queer artists, labor advocates. Years stretched. Theo's college graduation, Mia's congressional seat, visits to the cabin, now communal, Theo's partner proposing under the same moon. My retrospectives span coasts, hauntings a canon, talks unpacking. Love's drama isn't the storm, but the shelter after. In quiet nights, fire escape perch, Richard's ring heavy, I'd whisper to wines, still haunts. Beautifully. Winters came gentle, snow a shroud of peace. The movie night? Eternal origin, touch that ignited, life that bloomed. Meaning? In a loving, the losing, the legacy. We rise connected, unafraid. Love endures, not as ghost but guide. In its echo I live, haunted, healed, forever his.